Casita Blanca de Artsy Sister, and today I wanted for you to get to know 5 great landscape painters that you should know. The first one on the shopping blog is Caspar David Friedrich. He was a German romanticist landscape painter, and romanticism is basically, when applied to landscapes, is you want to convey a type of emotion when you're looking at a landscape. Sometimes just looking at the awesomeness of nature, or feeling very humble, or even try to inspire a bit of religiosity out of you. So this one is called Innocence. So you have a little girl in the a small little girl in the foreground, and she's picking up flowers in the field. You know. Let me show you another one. Like this one is a ruined monastery, and I don't know if you can see it, but like over here, like the monks are making their way there on pilgrimage. So
that looks like something out of Dark Souls. Like it's very
yeah, yeah, it's very dark and gothic. And you know, it's like Friedrich, later in his life, he ended up suffering from depression, so he ended up isolating himself from the world, and like.
So let me guess, that one was early, and this one's way late when he's like at the brink of like killing himself.
No, he didn't kill himself. He just died alone, very deep.
Oh god, that's sad too.
Yeah, but his friends would check up on him every so often. They just felt bad that such a great guy would like shun society and whatnot, cause they didn't quite understand mental health problems back in the 1700s and whatnot. So they had no way of treating that other than shutting you away or hitting you with a stick or drowning you or burning you. The way that mental health problems were treated by them were awful, and they were borderline on torture. So the least said about that, the better.
But you can see the change in style from his early work to post-depression.
Yeah, that where when he looked at nature, he saw was bleak and dark. Because it's not just painting nature; it's what you choose to paint. Because the subject matters. Because what you choose to paint also matters them just as much as the painting itself. Yeah. And this one is The Sea of Ice, 1824. That's another one of his very, very, very last, among his last paintings and whatnot. And and over here you can see the boats already capsized over there. So yeah, ice and desolation.
Is that Pride Rock? Is Mufasa there?
No, it's the polar ice cap. We're way, way, way up north. Think Helsinki or something.
Oh wow.
It's cold, very cold landscape. So yeah, it's desolation, and the ship already looks dead and one. It's already capsized. It's like pre-Titanic. And this is a portrait of himself, but with his back turned to the audience, because he wants your gaze to be focused on the landscape that he chooses to paint in his overall bleak world point of view and whatnot. So he calls himself the wanderer of the sea of fog. And usually in our history, this was the first painting that they show you of Caspar Friedrich.
It's the most epic painting in the history of epic paintings. Just look at that. You can hear this painting goes.
Oh yeah, because you see how the clouds are moving very quickly. Yeah, that's epic. And here's another one: two men looking at a fancy moon. So I guess this time he painted himself with the friend that would check up on him every so often to be certain that he was still alive and one. And just looking at the forest, looking at the fancy moon, and a tree about to tip over. But it's a nice, perfectly balanced and whatnot. It's a good painting.
Yeah, he balances the dead tree with his live friend.
Yeah.
So it's very symbolic.
Yeah, but think about it. It's a tree that's about to fall off, that is dead, barely hanging in there, while a rock that is sustaining the tree. So, so it's very symbolic. He's leaning on the same way that the rock is the tree is leaning on a rock. He's leaning on his friend. You see? So both these two humans echo the nature as well. Cause like his rock, his good friend, is the thing that's keeping him from like falling over the edge, tipping over the edge, you know. And it's still allowing him that, even though like the tree looks almost half dead, it still has some greenery up here, so that he's still hanging in there.
Even though he's still alive.
He's still alive, even though he's like about to fall off. Oh, is he still running?
Yeah, it's still running.
So yeah, it's a very symbolic painting. Alright, the next painter that I want you to know is called Shilde Hassan. He's like an American painter. He's an American painter that like did landscapes and urbanscape, and he's famous for having more than 3,000 paintings. Like he painted a lot. And he's like from the 1850 to like the 1900 to like the early 20th century.
So this is not American Impressionism. This is just a.
No. Yeah, this is an American guy. It's an American Impressionist. It's a gringo.
He has almost as many paintings as Bob Ross.
Yeah. So yeah, a nice seascape with some chunks on the bottom and over here.
Like American Impressionism is interesting. I do know this one because it happened a little bit way after the regular Impressionism happened. They just looked at it and said, "Oh wow, that looks cool."
Like the Impressionism in America started a little later, and but what that means is that they killed over later as well, you know. So yeah, this is like a watercolor painting and a watercolor urbanscape, you know. So you can see like the soft hues and whatnot, and just him sketching nature and people and going about their urban lives.
That's another thing. A lot of people think that landscape means that there are not going to be any humans, but you can have humans in a landscape.
Yeah, as long as the humans are just there for decoration and not the center focus. See, this guy is just there in order to balance out the trees and whatnot, see? And, you know, you see the city and the trees and all of the other stuff.
Oh, wow.
This one is Celebration Day, and it's like a huge parade of flags and whatnot. But you see that there's people here, but they're just implied with little dabs of paint because the center focus is all of the fancy, colorful flags and whatnot. Yeah.
What are they celebrating? What were the flags?
Well, the Red Cross.
Yeah.
Maybe they're coming back from like a war or something.
Yeah, it looks like a winning a war parade.
Yeah, I mean, like, he painted close to World War I and whatnot. He was still alive when World War I was going on and stuff. And here's another. He has the same topic, but from like a different angle in the city. So you see all of the fancy flags and whatnot, and the parade is around this side. Just you know. Because also when people think of landscape, they imagine that like landscape is just like trees and whatnot, but no. Landscape is like a whole scene, and then it's all divided into specific, you know, like the forest scene, the seascape, the cityscape, but it's all part of the whole landscape thing, you know, where the scenery is more important than the humans inhabited it, than the human characters. And this one is a woman holding a little red rose while looking at the thing. Now this one is like it's not so much. She's so much in the foreground. It doesn't. I don't know if it really qualifies as a landscape, but you still see a lot of like nature and whatnot. But and like the red rose is directing your view in order to look at the sea. So. Basically, she's waiting for like she's probably waiting for like a lover, or she misses like her dead lover and whatnot. Cause that's how I interpret this painting and whatnot. Cause she's sitting there by the sea in a rocking chair waiting for someone to return home. Alright, here's the next landscape painter that you should know. He's called Eovan Early. Okay, he painted from like the early 1915 and he died in the year 2000. So.
This looks like a artificial intelligence art, but it's not. This is all.
Yeah, he painted it. Like this guy, This painter, he got into the whole painting scene because like when he was 10 years old, he got polio, and then that severely limited his mobility. So then he'd be like, I might as well do a Frida Kahlo then when life threw her physical hardship and just become a painter. So yeah. And he also had like a difficult family situation because like his father was like he was your typical 20th century, like wife beater and whatnot. So he had like a difficult childhood and whatnot. So, but he is best known for painting the background scenes of some of Disney movies that I wanted to show you. And not like the later Disney movies, like somewhere between, like the 50s one. Like the best example of his work is the Sleeping Beauty. Like all of those crazy elaborate backgrounds.
Do you have that here so you can see it?
Nope. I don't want like Disney to go jumping.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Disney now.
Oh yeah, like his work was more stylized and whatnot. And see here. Like it's bordering on abstraction because this is like Central Park, New York, and here are the Twin Towers, or maybe here, I don't know. The point is that it's like reducing the landscape to like the bare minimum essentials. So you see, it's like very stylized. But that's another way that you can render the landscape. Oh yeah. See, this was more. This is one. I think this was.
That was Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, that is definitely Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, look at them Sleeping Beauty trees. and like it sucks because like it worked so hard in the background and Sleeping Beauty tanked big time. I don't know, maybe the parents thought that Maleficent was way too scary.
I'm an adult and I think Maleficent is terrifying.
She's cool. It's like a cool boss battle in like the Kingdom Hearts game. Very difficult. But I won't talk about Kingdom Hearts. We don't talk.
This one's also Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, man. Like also, if you notice, like the style of his horses, eventually, like the Mulan horses are drawn like this. Remember, in this type of style, you see how stylized it looks and whatnot. Like you can see that even though they haven't used his artwork in like forever, Disney still uses his style. Like the Disney from the 20th century, like I'm not talking about the new style that showed up after the year 2000. This is like this is like 20th century, not 21st century, Back when Disney used to draw things by hand, like you see, like the horses, they're like they're like those types of horses. They became more common, and then here's a fancy seascape. Also very stylized, but like if you picture the eyeball, it looks like it has all of the essentials to convey the ocean and whatnot.
That's weird because a lot of AI art right now appears to mimic this. So they took a lot of like the machine took a lot of inspiration from this as well.
Yeah, but they probably fed all of the license-free paintings into the robot. But no. This wasn't painted by a robot. This was painted by a human. Actually, 1990. Up there, it said The Wave.
Like the robot seems to really like that.
Okay, so the next painter that we're studying is Friedrich Church. He's like an American romanticist landscape painter from the Hudson River School. Like basically, that school was just was documenting all of the landscapes that they saw throughout the Hudson River, but they had a purpose. They were lobbying for the creation of national parks. So it was for national parks. So it's a combination of painters and environmentalists. So then they will paint those beautiful areas almost untouched. Well, over here you already start seeing like man interfering because even though it's a landscape supposed to convey the beauty of nature, there's already hints of human settlements and whatnot. But as you can see, like the land is fighting back and reclaiming what rightfully belongs to it because the house is decaying and it's practically almost fused into the landscape and whatnot. So what he's saying is that like we're ruining like all of these beautiful American vistas and like with like capitalism and whatnot, and this is what we're gonna and this is what and so then we're gonna document it before it gets lost forever.
Which is interesting because right now there's a movement to get rid of national parks and turn them into urbanscapes. So this goes back to that same argument of what to do with those lands. Do we want to ruin how they look, or do we want to?
Although we want to present it so that future generations can like enjoy the beautiful majesty of nature and whatnot. And then here's above the clouds. This one definitely doesn't show any hints of human habitation and whatnot. So yeah, these are legit how it used to look back then before somebody took a steamroller through them. And this is the Aurora Borealis, 1865. Very nice. Oh, and here's a little human ship. So yeah, like this area isn't as desolate as it appears to be, because like humans are already there, starting to like pollute the place.
No, but it's like talking about how minor and insignificant we are in the awe.
Yeah, in the awesomeness of nature, that we're just a minor speck. And this is Niagara Falls, as seen from the American side, 1867. So this is how the Niagara Falls used to look like before. Oh yeah, and look over here, like a little place for like a person to look at stuff. Like this is how this place. Oh, and here's a rainbow. So this is how Niagara Falls used to look like before it became like a tourist hotspot, and like tourists started. It's ironic, like tourism is what like helps it's a thing that helps to kind of have preserved Niagara Falls, but it's also, but like a lot of tourist activity is also ruining like the landscape and the vistas of this natural wonder. So you know, potato. I'm not making you an environmental like argument. I'm just showing you what the Hudson River people were all about. They're the eco people.
The eco painters.
The eco painters. So instead of so that's a low hanging fruit idea. I mean, like instead of like going to museums to ruin like works of art and whatnot, maybe try the Hudson River approach, because they were actually successful in creating national parks by creating art instead of vandalizing it.
No, you know that it's easier to vandalize. Like all you gotta do is like in 2 seconds throw some paint on something, and then it automatically.
Yeah.
It's harder to learn how to paint and show what your point.
And make your point through by creating art than by destroying it. Like that is one thing. I don't like vandalizing art is something that I don't like.
Well, you're the Artsy Sister.
Yeah. Like only somebody that creates. But of course, I can't expect folks that never created an artwork in their life to like understand how like artists feel when they see a beautiful painting like being defaced and whatnot. I know that you're like trying to like say nature and whatnot, but here, do what the Hudson River approach, be creative about it. Like they were successful. They created the first national parks in the U.S.
Yeah,
and that's a bit they lobby to create Yellowstone Park. So this method is a proven method that actually works.
Better than throwing paint at a painting or dynamite or putting dynamite
on the thinker's legs. Because like the reason why the thinker's legs are like melted off is because somebody like vandalized it by putting dynamite on him.
They thought it was gonna blow up, but the thing is very strong.
Yeah, like the bronze thinker survived that, and anyway, think of that, whatever. Moving along. Don't vandalize paintings. Artists were very hard to make them. Instead, make art in order to like guilt people into making national parks. It works. This method works better. Oh yeah, so then it's the rainy season in the tropics, 1866. So you see, even put like a rainbow and everything. The double rainbow. So yeah, and then here are the tiny humans making their way through this beautiful landscape, but without ruining it. See? Alright. And the last painter that I wanted to show you is called Ivan Ivasovsky. Can you guess where he's from? Russia.
Watch out.
1817 and to the 1900 zero. Like this guy, he was not like he was the official painter, but not for like a king and whatnot, but for the Russian Navy. Like he did all of his military service not by just painting like seascapes and whatnot. And he was said to have photographic memory, and there's like at least 6,000 paintings that are 100% known to have been created by him, but according to the historical documents, he actually had 10,000 paintings. So we don't really know about the authorship of those other paintings. Are not like 100%. No, are not like the historians are not 100% certain that he made them, but it's known through letters and through military documents just how many paintings that guy made.
Wow, Bob Ross into your heart out. Wow.
No, it's just the guy had photographic memory, so while the other painters were slowed down by the fact that they had to make different planning stages and whatnot, he can just go directly in. He could just make the painting directly with oil, and then just get it out of the way as quickly. By the time one painting finished drying, he was already making the other one. Like, do the math. How many paintings you have to draw per year? Per year in order to make it. Let's go with the low estimate to have 3,000 paintings done. Yeah, let's say like 3,000 divided by 300.
You have to make at least 16 pages a day in order to be able to make 3,000. Over the course of 20, over the course of 20 years.
But yeah, he painted a lot.
Like, I'm assuming that he only painted for 20 years.
Yeah, or 30 or 40. Well, actually, he lived a long time, like 18, 17, and 19.
Yeah, but
let's say that he painted for like 40 years.
Yeah, because he didn't paint when he was a baby.
Yeah. Like, you can't paint when you're a baby.
And let's give him 20 years to learn how to actually paint.
Yeah. That's a conservative estimate. That he painted for 30 years, so 30 years divided by 3,000. So let's say that he had to make at least 100 paintings per year in order to make it to 3,000.
Yeah.
It's still a lot.
3,000 now. If it's 10,000, then what are we talking about here?
Yeah. And these are not like simple paintings. This is very complicated. It's called Scenery Battle Assessment at Night. So it's like ships exploding. We got like some people leaving the little boats. It's like a very complicated painting. And the moon in the top.
And he's like sitting there painting all of that.
Yeah, while the action is going on. Yeah, that's the advantage of having photographic memory. You don't need the camera, he is the camera. And then, a nice scene. Yeah, by the mountain Vesuvius over here, see? So yeah, stay away from it. Like, Vesuvius is the name of the volcano that destroyed Pompeii. So over there it's erupting. So like, if you're like a tourist and you think that like Vesuvius did, like, the volcano still erupts. Here it is, erupting, documented. So yeah, be careful when hanging out in Pompeii. You don't want to end up like those Roman chumps. And here we are by Egypt. See? Here we have one pyramid and two other pyramids.
This guy's been through a lot of places.
Yeah, he was a Navy officer. Of course, he got around 1895. And over here, the ships at the Theodosia raid, 1897. So yeah, here by now you'll start seeing that the ships, they no longer sail, but they're getting fancier. Oh yeah, is it still running?
Yeah, it's still running. I see the red.
Yeah. So yeah, by now like the ships have gotten fancier and whatnot. So yeah, it's fun to see like the old sailboat contrasted against the fancy modern iron ship. So just looking at his paintings over the top is a good way to see the evolution, how the Industrial Revolution changed the way that ships were made. And we are done. I hope you found this landscape lecture amusing. Bye bye and God bless.